Hi everybody, welcome to my Founding Out Loud channel, and in this video I want to give an update on week 4. So I'm in week 4 of my trajectory, and this is for me quite a happy week because this is the week that I need to start building a landing page for my startup, because next week I want to pitch my startup ideas to a number of people, and of course you want them to really show what you're building. So therefore I spent quite some time on trying to build stuff this week. I have kind of experimented with similar tools. And actually what I want to show you in this video is kind of which tools are available to help you in building a land page. And I will actually try to build them live with you so that we can see a bit the difference. So I will use Lovable, I will use the build tool in Google AI Studio, and I will also use the Copilot coding agent in Visual Studio Code. These are the 3 tools that I will try to use so that we can also compare a bit live the difference between the 3 tools. Yeah, so that's the plan for this video. So let's dive in.
Founding Out Loud.
Okay, so the first step that I did to make it possible to start building a landing page is actually I went to my ChatGPT 5 and I wrote a prompt like this. So I'm saying, okay, I want to build in Lovable an MVP for my landing page for the business model below. Can you generate a description that I can enter in Lovable to start creating the landing page? Please make sure to generate detailed content and layout instructions. For the layout instructions, please take into account the attached logo. Yeah, so I actually have attached here my logo for the Try It Spark logo. Here I just gave an extensive description of my business model. And then I asked it to create a layout, and that's what it did here. Yeah, so here it created actually in coding, but it's actually a kind of specification description, a very long description of how the landing page can look like. So now what I do quite straightforwardly is copy this code, and now we can enter this code in different tools to start building a landing page. And the first tool I will use is Lovable. So let me go to the Lovable website. Yes, so here we are in the Lovable website, and now the thing that I simply need to do is to copy paste my prompts here, and then I can simply press enter, and then we can see what we will get. Now this will take quite a while, so I now just enable it, and now it starts working. This will take quite some time, so in the meantime let us go to a second tool to start building also in Google Build. So that I will do here. So I go now to Google AI Studio, and that's the kind of developer platform of Google. And you will immediately see there you have the option to go to build. Yeah, so here you have a lot of nice things to try out, like the Nano Banana image generator, but now I want to use the build function. And you will see this looks already quite similar to Lovable. And now again, I can simply copy paste the same prompt into this tool, and again we can press enter, and now also this tool will start building my landing page. So then we will also be able to compare what is possible. And the final tool that I want to use is the Copilot coding agent in Visual Studio Code. So that's why I now briefly need to enable my Visual Studio Code. Yes, so here I am Visual Studio Code, and so I have the Copilot agent mode. Actually, you need to go to GitHub and get a Copilot account at GitHub. Actually, if you're working at a university like me, you can get a Copilot account for free. Also, students can get it for free. And with that, you can then create this extension. And so now also here, I can simply copy paste into my coding agent the same instructions that I did in Lovable and Google Build. So also here we can now simply press enter and see what will happen. But in the meantime, we can already start looking if Lovable has already produced something as this is working. Yes, so now let's take a look at Lovable. And here is the website it has created for me. So we can now actually press on publish so that we can see it better. So I will press on publish. Okay, so now it is actually also immediately publicly available. So now let's click on the link so that we can see what it actually produced. And here we can see already a website here above. Okay, we need some improvement here. But overall, we have here for organizers, get early access. Let me click on that. Okay, yeah, then we can go to information for organizers. That seems to work. Get early access. Here you have the typically kind of fields to fill in. So this all seems to work already. Yeah, so you see there's already quite a nice website. I would say here on top, this figure is not the best one, so that I would like to improve. But you see that with one single prompt, I have already quite a nice website that I could show in a pitch. Yeah? And of course, now I can fine tune it. The only issue with Lovable, and you might see it here if I go back to my place, here you see now that I don't have a lot of credits left this day. So actually, if I now want to start updating, I would need to upgrade. Yeah, so Lovable, from that perspective, quickly will push you into a subscription. So that's a bit the disadvantage of the tool, that if you want to fine tune, you quickly go into a subscription mode. Yeah, so that's Lovable, but you could see already quite a nice website. So let me briefly check what is happening here with my coding agent. Okay, this agent is just working. I don't need to give any information. So this is still working. So let us go to Google Build to see what is happening there. So let me make sure that I'm now at the right place. So this was Lovable. Now let's go to Google Build. Yes, also here a website is ready. Okay, and this seems to be a bit more dynamic. That's nice. So let's go to full screen mode. Yeah, so again, you see that the layout based on my prompt in terms of colors is quite similar, but I would say this looks even a bit nicer than the Lovable one. Yeah, so again, how it works. Yeah, this looks great. Let's see if we can click on stuff. Yes, for organizers, get early access. We have frequently asked questions. Do these things work? Yes, actually. Yeah, so you see it's actually quite a fully operational website. Now, of course, at the moment, I have not deployed it. Yeah, so I cannot now, if I would fill in information here, this information will not be stored somewhere or something like that. But actually, it really looks like a fully operational web page. And again, that is by one single prompt, I already get this information. So now I could easily start fine tuning. And at least in my experience with Google Build, there are not that quickly credit limits. So here you can do much more already. Yeah. And so let's click here. Yeah, that seems to work also. That's why I would say this is already really a very good landing page. I would say even a bit better than the Lovable one. Yeah, so that's Google Build. So now let's check our final coding tool that we have used, namely in Microsoft Visual Code. And this tool is actually still working. So we will, it's now kind of halfway through the tasks it needs to do. So you see it made a task list, and now it's really coding to execute all the tasks. And so now it's simply doing all the coding for me. So let's wait a bit more, and then I will show you the result of what we were able to do in Microsoft Visual Studio Code. Okay, so now it is ready, and so here actually it explains me a bit all the steps that it's taken, what it has been creating. So actually it has now created a number of files in the folder that I gave, and now I can go to that folder and open the HTML file to see what it has produced. Yeah, so let's do that now. So here we have index.html, that's what it has been creating. So let's click on that. And again, we see quite already an impressive landing page. Now here on the right, this is a bit strange, this conference A, B, C, D, E. So that I would definitely now would ask to remove. But apart from that, again, for organize seems to work, benefits, how it works, here for organizers also. Yeah, so here already, again, it seems to be a very nice first landing page. Again, frequently asked questions. Yeah, they seem to work. So also this one seems to trigger really a nice first landing page. The only strange thing here is on the right hand side. But now I could go back to my prompt here and simply ask, please remove a conference A, B, C, D, E, and then it will perfectly do that. Yeah. So actually I prefer using this latter approach because you have a bit more control. And you can, of course, also now really start adjust the coding itself if you have sufficient coding knowledge. So I have basic coding knowledge, so I can already start working the coding a bit myself. So you have a bit more flexibility. And this is, of course, fully free with the Copilot account. So this is my preference, but you have seen that Lovable and Google Build are definitely also very good alternatives, especially if you don't want to go into the technicality of creating a Copilot agent in Microsoft Visual Studio Code. Then these other two alternatives might also be very good starting points. Yeah, but I hope you can see that today you can really very quickly create a very nice first landing page. Now, let me be clear. These are not kind of the ones you want to have in the end as a commercial business, yeah, because now there would be definitely security vulnerabilities. It's not fully operational, yeah, so you need to connect it with a database. So that when people enter information that's stored in a database, that's not yet been done. So that would be the next steps, and then it will become a bit more technical. But at least to show to somebody what you want to do, you can now today do that in a very short amount of time, and I think that's the power of these tools. So I hope this can be helpful for your own building, and please stay tuned for my next video in this Founding Out Loud channel. Thanks for your attention. Bye.